It is coffee in the one hand and confidence in the other, and you are watching Smile the Coffee Show, dedicated to bringing you news shakers and news makers, the freshest news, interesting conversations, as well as interesting interviews with myself, Queen Peter, and with the daring, the beautiful Aina Riza Queer, the sexy of the sexiest. Good morning.
How you said? I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Awesome. Your hair is giving. It's giving African queen,
It's
the queen of everything.
my dear, it's giving natural. It's giving nappy head hand. Well, and I know we've spoken about this like a few weeks ago. That activists wanted the Kurt von Francois statue that is in front of the city of Windhoek to be removed. And well, it is being removed tomorrow, And I just feel that, because it's like it's a reminder. It's a symbol of oppression. It's a symbol of colonialism. And, a lot of people are sharing the sentiments that it should be removed. However, the other people are being reasonable and saying that, is this the removal of that statue? Is it going to improve the economy? Because, people are trying to understand, why other people are so worried also about the statue. So what are your thoughts?
Firstly, the statue was not responsible for our economy. So you can't actually question, is the removal of the statue going to improve our economy? Firstly, it was not meant to do that. And also, I think we as a people, we need to step away from demanding services from people and things that are not supposed to give us these services. For instance, the statue, I saw someone said, is it going to improve the living standards of people in Katutura? How? How can you question that?
It's not as if it from the onset that it improved.
Why are you demanding, service delivery from the statue? You must demand it from your government, from your councillors. The removal of the statue is just purely to, move with the times, because we cannot be celebrating our oppression. That's my feel. I think it should be removed because, like you said, it really reminds us of colonialism. Not that it's going to bring about some huge change. Yes, maybe it will bring about change in our own mental emancipation to know where we are going and where we are headed and where we do come from. And like we said, it's not being removed to just be erased from the books of history. It's just being placed at a place that celebrates, our history, like maybe a museum or something. Where are they taking it, by the way?
To the Windhoek Museum. My thing is just, the symbol of oppression is usually an unfortunate reminder of, oppression and colonialism. So I also agree that, it should be removed. However, like you said, it's not being removed totally from the history books. You are not forgetting what happened. But, there's this book called The Capitalist Nigger. And, it's like a book focusing on how, as black people, we are focusing on what happened. So we are constantly saying, it's because we were colonized. But within 32 years, what have Namibians been doing for themselves? What have we done for ourselves? Because we cannot constantly, yes, it happened, oppression happened, colonizing happened, but we cannot constantly use it as a reference as to why we are not developing as a nation. So definitely.
I love how you're passionate about this. We'll be right back with more passionate news after the break.
Now, in our first news stories, 2 bystanders were hailed as heroes after subduing a gunman in Colorado. There was a shootout, in Colorado at the LGBT club. It was the Q club in Colorado, and these 2 men subdued this gunman. And unfortunately, this gunman was only 22 years old, and 5 people were killed. 17 people are still facing it, injured. And what I love about this story, Aina, is because this man was very bold. Both these 2 bystanders, were very bold, and it was very brave for them to walk into danger. But also it's because they were in the army, so I understand where they are coming from. Now, the reason why I love this story, and I I need to relate it to what's happening in our social culture right now. That the moment we see danger, the moment we see something unfortunate happening, our first instinct is to take out our phones.
Yeah.
You know, our first instinct is to get content and uploading that content because we've become social media journalists, you know, and that is where, and social media journalists do not know, you know, ethical standards of journalism, what to report on, what not to report on. Yes, others might know it's public interest, you know, what's happening here, but also because you need to understand that is without consent. You cannot just, you know, such an unfortunate incident. So I absolutely love how people were like, no, there's danger. What we're going to do is, you know, fight or flight, you know, and I go into fight mode because I need to, because he was there, like the one was there with his wife and his child.
Yeah.
So he said that, you know, the first thoughts were like, he's going to kill my wife, he's going to kill my child. So it's just like a survival mode, you know, like.
Is it advisable, though, to join a fight?
History has proven
insert yourself in that chaos.
History has proven that it's not always a wise decision.
Yeah, because you might end up losing your life.
Exactly, and you know, there are a lot of reports, there are a lot of stories of how people lost their lives. You know, they always say like, do not go into a fight where two elephants are fighting, because you would be the one who's losing, you know, at the losing end. But I feel that it takes a lot of courage, it takes a lot of, you know, bravery, to go into a fight and try to stop it, because you realize that, you know, it's just not about me, but it's about, you know, what can happen here, you know, the die effects this can have on the next person, you know, or the person like in the fight. So yeah,
it's commendable what they did. Yeah, so I applaud them for their bravery. Now moving on to our next story, the owners of two pit bull terriers which killed a 3-year-old boy in Hananan, Free State, has been released on a 300 rand bail by the local magistrate court. Let's talk about the debate that has been happening, you know, on social media about owning a pit bull as a pet. Is that something that you are subscribing to? Do you say that we should own pit bulls as pets, or are they too dangerous?
I wouldn't like to, you know, this is one debate that I would not like to subscribe to. You know, I would just look at it and, you know, observe it from a distance, because I haven't owned a pit bull. I don't know how it goes about, you know, owning one. But also, there's the internet is buzzing, you know, so many people, pit bull owners, are saying you just need to train these dogs, right? Then others are coming, you know, with counter arguments. It's like, but why should a dog be trained, you know, in such a way that, you know, and others are saying, but how can you compare, because there are people who say, you know, there are murderers walking freely around, and now you want to ban a pit bull. And so others is like, there's no way that you can compare a human murder with, you know, pit bull. And others are saying, no, you need to bring back the death penalty. So there's a lot of
death penalty for pit bulls?
No, not for pit bulls, for humans killing other humans, you know. But as for me and management, I do not subscribe, you know. The pit bull lovers, you know, stand up for your dogs. Those who are saying that we need to ban pit bulls, like.
Do you think the 300 rand bail is fair?
And that is debatable. I mean, it's not the owners who killed it, you know. But it is the owner's responsibility to make sure that the dogs are kept intact. The dogs are in the house, in the yard.
But you can't necessarily blame the owners of the pit bull for the pit bull's action. What if this person really trained the pit bull, did everything that they were supposed to do? It's just like me as a person. You can't blame my parents for my behavior. You understand? My parents did everything they could for me to be this, you know, acceptable person in society. But now here I am doing whatever I want. Can we really blame the pit bull's owner for the pit bull's action?
Yeah, okay, you've made quite a reasonable argument
also,
here.
the fact that they were arrested, for me, it just doesn't make sense. Why are you blaming me for
my dog's action?
My dog's action. Like, I have nothing to do with these dog's actions. I'm not in their mind. How do I then?
Where was the dog? And also, the most intriguing question that, you know, that I would ask is, you know, what did the child do? But it's a 3-year-old. What could that child possibly do?
It's a toddler.
To trigger
they are
that
doing everything that they could in this life.
Also,
they are living their best life.
Also true. Yeah, I think it's also very important to say that people are very provoking, you know, and especially when they see a pit bull, you know, your first instinct is, you know, to mess with the dog, or like to trigger the dog, or to play the dog. And sometimes these dogs just like, not today, fam. Yeah, no. So in our third story, some residents in the affluent areas of Windhoek East, you know, these are Olympia, Kleine Cooper, saying that, you know, they do not want informal businesses to trade in the area because due to health and safety risks.
Just don't buy, bruh. Just don't buy the products.
That's your chat.
That's my chat. Why are you concerned about safety and health? Okay, so if you are concerned about safety and health in your area, then don't buy. Don't buy. Go buy at ShopRite then. So you can't, I don't know, I don't think it's a necessary conversation.
It's the thing of, in their area.
How?
Their area. No. Wait. Keywords, their area. Which means that those people
Which
are not
areas
from,
are this now? Klein Coupe,
the Olympia, all these.
Which areas are this?
My thing is...
But there are fellow people from, I think, from marginalized communities that work in these areas. So we are selling to them.
That's what I'm trying to say. The 1%, they think their area. So which means that, us from the informal settlements, us from these marginalized communities, we cannot go to their area. Is this like some sort of segregation that we do not know of, in a very subtle way? Before I get too passionate and driven by this.
All right, moving on to our next story. Effective immediately, the age limit for the Miss Supranational has been raised to 34. Beauty queens aged from 18 to 34 can now take part in this competition. Will you be joining a beauty pageant at the age of 34?
I think by the age of 28, I might be a tad bit taller, so I can maybe so love that for them. So I might just
I love this chat for you. You know what can make you taller? There are exercises on YouTube that you can do, like stretches that can make you taller.
But I think this is my adult height. I think I need to make peace with it. It's really not something, when people always, like, why are you so short? And it's like, have you seen my parents? They are not really tall, like both of them. So yeah, but I absolutely love that, it's inclusive of all people, And I think one of the patches also want to have married women,
That's
so
Miss Universe.
Miss Universe. So it's absolutely love how we are moving, towards, like we have progressively moving, So I love it. But would I take part in a pageant at 32 years?
34.
No.
No. And you'll be competing with
18-year-olds. Or like a 22-year-old.
21-year-olds. I think it's good, like, for people who are really passionate about pageantry and who really want to bring about some social change. But I think it's also important and be cognizant of the fact that you can also, do charity work. You can also make an impact outside of pageantry. Yeah. But kudos to them. Halala, it's good news.
Yeah, it's good.
Because there are other people who feel like, oh my gosh, now I'm 30, I can no longer chase this dream,
Yeah.
So I think it's really good on them.
If you put it like that, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Awesome stuff. After the break, we do have an exciting interview with the First Lady of Sports, Jovita Kanjumba.
Chill Sessions is an entertainment show bringing the latest hits, fashion, and entertainment news. Chill aims at reaching all entertainers, youth, and artistic fans. Catch Chill on NTV, 1up2.com, the Namibian Sun, Chill, and Namibia Media Holdings platform. Chill focuses on countdown of the latest hits, fashion trends, celebrity interviews, and more. To share your music-related news, products, and services, contact Chill at synergy.com.na. Chill Sessions, bringing art and entertainment to the people.
The Queen, the First Lady of Sports, is gracing our presence this morning on Smell the Coffee. Not only did she host the Sports Award over the weekend, she's also the proud owner of a magazine. Hey girl, good morning.
Well, good morning to you, Aina. Thank you for that lovely introduction.
How are you?
I'm well.
Let's talk about you first. Tell us about your sports magazine before we get into all things Sports Awards.
Basically, it's a women's sports magazine called She Rep Sports. It's just to celebrate and just give a voice to women in sport basically just unpack their journeys, where they are now, what their future looks like for them, and just the beauty of women doing sports in the country. So that's all we're trying to do, just shed a light on women's sports with She Reps Sports Magazine.
Celebrating women.
Yes.
What about us women in entertainment?
Well,
Are you saying now us women in entertainment should create a platform for women in entertainment? But that's a chat for another day.
definitely.
Talk to us about, your weekend, your experience being the host of the Sports Awards 2022.
The weekend was special, and I think
Yeah.
hosting the Namibia Annual Sports Awards was also special because it took place in Luderitz. Now, Luderitz is the first town to be discovered by the Germans, and even the infrastructure is still intact the way it was in 1901 or 02 when they discovered this place, or when they discovered Namibia. They landed there because it's, coming through the Atlantic Ocean. And just the beauty of also the place where the awards took place, it took place in the Luderitz waterfront old power station. So the first diamond was discovered in Luderitz. And they used that power station as a hub where they basically discover the diamonds, and then just the process of it all. And so that was the beauty part. But now they are transforming it into a state of an art facility. NAST is going to have a campus there. It has the biggest museum. It's going to have the biggest museum in the country. It's going to have maritime. It's going to be very big. I had the pleasure of having a tour of the facility. The building is 111 years old, so the heritage is still there. So it's protected by the Heritage Council, I think. And so they can't dismantle the whole building. They can only enhance it, but not break it down. So that's the beauty of the building. But Luderitz was fantastic.
Awesome. Now, this is your third time. Is it third time or second time hosting the Sports Awards? Why did you particularly decide to do it again? What's new? Is it like a different experience all the time? Or is it just, okay, it's the Sports Awards, let me collect my bag? What's the vibe?
The first two times I was a red carpet host.
Oh, okay.
So that's the difference. Now I had the main stage. And that's always been, the goal to be on the main stage. So that's what made it beautiful, because my first time on the main stage. But usually I did the blue carpet.
Wow. Okay, let's highlight, the entire event. What was your highlight? And also maybe you can touch a little bit on the lowlights, because every event,
I would say that the highlight would be the winners. I mean, it was surprising for some of us. If you don't really follow, you would think, why did A, B, and C, D win? Like, I think the sports star of the year, who's also the sportsman of the year, Yanni Moeveson, I think you wouldn't know if you're not in sports, because everybody would say, why did he win? But he's the world champion in archery. And so that's how he got to win. That is the sportsman and sports star of the year. So he walked away with 300,000, 200,000 being the star of the year, and then 100,000 being the sportsman of the year. So he bagged almost half a million.
Half a million.
So he really.
And a car? Do they get cars?
No, they don't get cars. So it's only money. And then Helalia Johannes, I'm so happy that you won the Sportswoman of the Year, because
it wasn't that Christine. What did Christine win?
Junior Sportswoman of the Year. So there's the junior, and then there's the Sportswoman of the Year. So because she had a fantastic year, and she's nearing retirement, so I was really happy that she was awarded for her good work that she did this year. She won plenty of medals, including a Commonwealth bronze medal. So that was really a highlight for the evening. Lahia Ishitile, I love her. She won the Sportswoman of the Year with a disability. She's a phenomenal athlete, and she says that she wants to win Sports Star of the Year also. She's tired of winning Sportswoman of the Year. She's really such a personality. But I think the highlight was just spending the night with personalities in sports.
Rubbing shoulders with the rich and famous.
So I think that was truly the highlight of the night, just spending time with personalities, reuniting with people I've not seen in a while because of the distance, people staying. So it was really such a great platform.
So there were no lowlights. Everything was just glitz and glamour. Awesome stuff.
Well, the lowlights, they might revoke my check. So I'll keep it for another day until I receive my check.
I love that. During commercial break, we can talk about that. Now, before I let you go, let's talk about the World Cup. Who are you supporting? Who are you excited to see?
The World Cup, man, I think it's covered by so much controversy, but I think people should have been prepared for Qatar hosting the World Cup. It's been 10 years coming that Qatar is going to host the World Cup. And the backlash from the West is really uncalled for. And the president of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, said that the West is not the best to give moral advice to any nation. They've colonized for 3,000 years, and he says that they should be apologizing for the next 3,000 years instead of playing the moral police just because of the backlash that Qatar is getting. They are restricting a lot of things, but it's part of who they are. It's their culture, it's their religion. So it's their home, and I think it should be respected. I'm celebrating, or I'm supporting all of Africa, Senegal, Cameroon, Morocco. So I'm supporting really all of Africa at the World Cup. Ghana also, the Black Stars. So it's such a nice World Cup for Africa. For the first time, all the 5 African countries are being coached by African coaches.
Oh, wow.
So that says a lot about the improvement of the game on the continent. But I'm very disappointed that our poster boy for all of Africa, Sadio Mane, is not at the World Cup.
Yeah,
so
we spoke about that here. No, but I hold your hand and I stand by you, and I'm with you in supporting Ghana. I'm rooting for Ghana. I hope Ghana wins. Jovita, thank you so much for coming through to smell the coffee. We appreciate you. We appreciate the work that you're doing for sports women and, you know, the sports fraternity at large.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to come back another time.
Awesome. Now, after the break, we take a trip to Talk of the Town with the queen of everything.
Irongo Talk brings you community news in the Irongo region. Irongo Talk aims to reach coastal residents, keeping them updated on what's happening in their community. This show is broadcasted on NTV, oneup2.com, and cross-shared on the following Facebook platforms: Irongo, The Republican, Algemene Zeitung, Namibian Sun, and Namibia Media Holdings. Irongo Talk focuses on community news, weather update, fishing report, helpful tips, as well as sport and entertainment. For news-related or advertising queries, contact Irongo Talk at synergy.com.na. Irongo Talk, our community, your news.
We have individuals on a daily basis who kill, rob, and do all sorts of heinous things in this society. But they are never denied bail, to the point whereby they literally have to fight tooth and nail just for them to come out. On the 12th of May, I went to Chinatown as an act of protest against the issue that we all now know of the $5 million worth of counterfeit products apparently that were banned. And I merely gave instructions to the Chinese counterparts to say that if Namibians are not allowed to sell fake products, then you as well will not be selling fake products. And then I just gave instructions to say close, close, close. If we wanted to burn down Chinatown, would have gone there with our petrol bombs, would have banned the Chinese and their products. But we merely went there as an act to say that we will not allow in a free and independent Namibia for a Namibia to be reduced to a refugee status. Because this is what this government is doing. And Namibia no longer has rights. Today, foreigners are more Namibian than we are.
Now, these two activists are definitely the embodiment, the epitome of, patriotism in human flesh. People who are fighting for Namibia, people who realize that this cause Oh, go away. And this cause is greater than the individual self, you know. And I
Yes.
absolutely love that they were released and, you know, the case was withdrawn. And yeah, I would like to see, you know, them
It
continue
was not a
fighting.
serious case. I don't think it was a serious case. I think it was a thing of let us teach them a lesson. Yeah,
Yeah,
let
but-
us teach this activist a lesson.
Yeah, no, but, you know, they say that, you know, they will be continuously fighting for Namibia that is now being ruled by Chinese.
As we should all do.
One thing about, you know, these activists, they are bold and they are courageous.
Yes.
Love that, you know, those are traits that we can really, you know, get from them. And stand up for Namibia, stand up for our people who are really, you know, being treated unfairly.
Yes, I stand by you on that. And on that note, the time for us to love and leave you has come. We'll be right back tomorrow, same time, same place.
place.
From all of us here in studio.
It's adios.